What's going on, guys? Standard back at it again for episode 1 of the educational series. Today we're gonna actually be kicking it off and just gonna get the train rolling from here on out. So today we're gonna be talking about price action, more so just the basics. I'm gonna give you a few examples, try to make it more intuitive and digestible, and kind of just simplify things for everyone. So hopefully everything in this video, if you don't already know it, hopefully you write it down. Just write down what I'm saying, or any other visualization that you can think of in your head to help simplify it for yourself. Now, I want to put an emphasis out. Everything that I'm saying in this video is like even if it sounds super super simple, I use it on a day or like a weekly or day-to-day basis. So don't think just because it's super simple and this is like the basic, it doesn't work. I mean, like, you still have to use addition like almost every day for math, and that's pretty basic. Same with subtraction and stuff, and the basics come up more often than the more advanced stuff. So I just wanted to put emphasis behind that. These are used all of the time, and they're probably the most important foundational aspects of the trading system. So once we get into the trading system, you'll, if you understand this well and you take decent notes, you can refer back to that, and the rest of the videos will flow a lot smoother. So put in some work now, and it'll make the future easier. They kind of all compound on top of each other. So don't let anything slip through the crack. Alright, now with all that being said, what I want to talk about is basic price action terms. So we have trends, pullback, consolidation, breakout slash breakdown, and trend reversal, which we can put right. Okay, doesn't want to work. Put it right here. Okay, so these are like the main terms we're going to be looking at. Trend reversal, pullback, consolidation, and breakout slash breakdown. I'm going to assume, for the simplicity of this, that you don't know what any of this means. That's why we're going over it. So, a trend. Let's think in real life terms. What is a trend? People are doing the same thing. Maybe a piece of clothing is a trend. Wearing a certain type of shoe is a trend. So everyone is doing it. It's all going in the same direction. It's popular. So what would that look like in the market? It would look like a trend of higher highs and higher lows for an upward trend. So as we can see here, we're going upwards. Where's the arrow? There it is. We're going upwards. That's a trend. The trend is up. We're going up. Larger moves up, smaller moves down. Larger moves up, smaller moves down. Now, what I'm about to say is the most important thing, probably of the whole trading system in the future, if you want to save your money. So, as much as as simple as it is, nobody really puts enough emphasis behind it, I find. So, here is a higher high. And here is a higher low. Oh. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. So we're going up, going down a little bit, going up, going down a little bit. As you can see in the thing. Now, it would make sense if I did this as well. So there's another series of higher highs and higher lows. I'm not going to label them. But hopefully from this diagram you can infer where the higher high and higher low would be. It just corresponds. Higher high, higher high, higher low, etc. So that is the trend, going up. It has higher highs and higher lows. And that is how you identify an uptrend. It's that simple. What is going on? Is there higher highs and higher lows? Or, now onto the next one, are we in a downtrend? I wonder if I can... It's not going to work now. Alright, I'll have to draw it out over here. Should probably look clean, so it works out for the better. These are going to be lower lows and lower highs. So it's a little bit reverse. but it makes sense. You're going lower. So as we can see here, it's basically the same thing on the right hand side, but just heading downward. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And instead of the arrow going up, the arrow is going down. Now, this, I would suggest writing or just like drawing these little things down. I know it seems super simple, but there's a reason why it's so simple. Your trading strategy should not be complex by any means at all. As you can see, I'm like explaining it in a very simple term that could probably be understood by somebody that's less than 10 years old. And that's how your trading system should work. It should be very simple. There should be no reason for it to be complex. And as you'll see, as we even get into the more complex things, it's going to still be really simple. So just simplify it for yourself now. And we will have better efficiency in the future. So there's the general concept there of a trend. Now, as we can see here, on crowd, this one has a bunch of great examples that we're going to be going over today. We have so imagine the trend we're looking at is right here. So we break out right here, we form a higher high, and then we form a higher low. And then we don't even almost get any pullbacks, but you could say this right here is a higher high, this right here is a higher low. And we just keep going. Grab the marker again, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, etc. And it goes on even like a little bit more for like a couple more weeks. But anyways, the point is here, it looks just like the thing that we're just looking at, the little drawing that we just put out, the higher high, higher low. Why? Because it's extremely simple. And that's all you really need. So as you can see here, super simple, and you have a clear definition of what the trend is. Obviously the trend is up. Now, the reason why we care to identify the trend and why it's so important and why I said it has much emphasis in the trading system is because you want to trade in the direction of the trend. If we're just looking at the chart here, the odds of you making money and making significant money, importantly, is so much higher than betting on the downside. So, I don't know how I could necessarily like engrave in your brain that you don't need to be playing the downside in a series of higher highs, higher lows, because for some reason everybody does it, even if they continue to lose money doing it, and it just happens over and over and over again. But just understand that the significance of the move is following the trend. You have to follow the trend to make the most amount of money. So you first need to identify the trend. So yeah, trade within the trend. And if you're not, well then this isn't going to work out for you, and I'm sorry. That's just the basics. Yeah. So trend reversal, we'll do that probably last. That's probably going to be a little bit more complicated. Pullback. A pullback is just what we're looking at right here. It's that little move from that lower low to that lower high. The reason why it's called a pullback and not like an individual trend is because it's not like any significant move. It's normally what it is just people that are part of the trend and bought the trend because they're smart and they understand that trading with the trend makes them more money. They're taking profit, so it pulls back a little when they sell. So it's not like any significant move. It's just pulling back a tiny bit, and then it goes back forward again. So hopefully that makes sense. I can label the pullbacks up here on this. So here's a pullback. Here's a tiny little pullback. Here's a pullback. And here's a pullback. So just understand what a pullback is. And most of the time, and when you're in a significant trend, it is people taking profit. So that if you want to know like from an actual standpoint why it's happening. That's why. Um, More importantly, consolidation and breakout overview. So let me get rid of all these. You could probably fast forward like 15 to 20 seconds. I'm just going to be deleting these. The idea of a consolidation going into a breakout or breakdown phase is kind of like, I mean, I'm probably going to say this a lot, but this is like really a key feature of our trading strategy here. It's like a slinky kind of like contracting and then it explodes outwards. It's like if anybody here like has a car with launch control, you're like powering up the engine, you're consolidating the energy, and then you're releasing it and it breaks out and you go faster. So consolidation is like a charge up phase. You're charging and then you're using the energy. So when I say energy, I try to simplify it for myself, the whole stock market terms. So I think of things in simple mannerisms rather than, oh my God, like there's like a minor pullback and there's this structure and there's this within like these certain phases of the market. I just think that it's building energy or it's releasing energy. It makes it so much more simple, and in a physics term, it helps me comprehend easier. Like, why would I care to look at all these candlesticks and try to analyze, hyper analyze to be specific, what is going on? If you can just simplify it, you're gonna realize if any of you actually can use this and expand from this. At the end of the day, if you were to have just simplified it from the beginning, you would have probably saved yourself like 2 years. So, yeah, it really is that simple. Now, screw everything I just said. I was just blabbering. Let's get into the consolidation and breakdown, because that's why we're here. So, consolidation, consolidate or congestion, going sideways, whatever you want to call it. It's just when the market's kind of trading in a sideways form. It's just bracketing. It's not really going anywhere. It's building energy, as I would say. So that's literally all it is. There's nothing complicated about it. The market's going sideways and nothing's happening. We're not to get a little bit ahead. We're not touching the market here. We're just letting it do its thing. If it's consolidating, have fun. Like, it can consolidate all at once. Build that energy up. We don't want to be a part of the energy buildup. We want to take the energy from the system. We don't want to give energy to it. So, consolidation is super easy. Hopefully you understand that. So going sideways. So now breakout or breakdown. Breakout is when it goes up. Breakdown is when it goes down. That's just how I think of it. You can say breakout either way, but I think it's better to have two terms. So a breakout would look like this. You have the sideways congestion or consolidation phase, and then it goes up. And then it pulls back, hits it, and then it goes up. And then it's gone. That starts the new trend. The trend. That's when the trend is identified. You create that higher high, higher low. And then you would have gotten a higher high up here, higher low. So very, very simple. You have a consolidation that goes into a breakout of a trend. So there's the key terms we have here. Hopefully that makes sense. You have the consolidation, breakout. You get a little tiny pullback on top of the consolidation. And then you break out and really form that trend. So hopefully that's easy to visualize, and I can highly suggest writing down what I just everything I'm doing here. I'm not going to keep saying it, but yeah, hopefully you are, because it will emphasize learning a lot more. That's proven by science. So write things down. It'll be engraved in your brain easier, and you won't have to forget anything. So now that you know that, let's look at a great example here. I still have to go over trend reversal, but I guess we can do that when we're looking at this right-hand side of the crowd. Now, we can see we have an obvious consolidation phase. That's with us getting rid of anomalies. You should try to get rid of anomalies or like extremes of your data when you're kind of just trying to simplify things. Simplify, simplify, simplify. As you can understand, hopefully by now, even though we're like 15 minutes in of like the series, simplify, simplify, simplify is the idea here. So get rid of the anomalies. I'm not going to put them in the box. That makes no sense. That's just like hyper analysis for no reason. You're just thinking too much. So you can see we have a consolidation here. We're going sideways. We're getting that like sideways, just sideways movement. It's really that simple. Now with that being said, you eventually have a breakout. So there's a consolidation. Where can I find the current? There we go. And you have a breakout. Now, you're probably like, okay, well, it goes back the other way. What the heck? Perfect. This is why I chose this example, my friend. This is when we get into the trend reversal and how to safely manage risk. Obviously, I'm going to be going over this much more depth in the future, but in terms of price action, this is important to know. So we're just going to go over it now, and we'll go more of it in farther in advanced videos. Okay, so trend reversal. If you don't understand this, I'm going to try my best to go slow here, because I have a feeling people actually no, I don't have a feeling, I know people really get lost, even like slightly more advanced people, in just how simple it is to trade with the trend and kind of like excusing yourself from the idea of a trend reversal. Like you just don't acknowledge it because you have a bias, and then you get screwed over and you don't recognize the new trend. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go over this nice and slow here. So as you know before, you have a trend, which is the higher high, or for this one we're gonna do lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, etc. Now a trend reversal. Think in your head for like 5 seconds what you think a trend reversal is. I'll give you a moment of silence. Okay, hopefully that's enough. Now a trend reversal is when you go from a series. Okay, so you have the trend, which is a series of higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, whatever one it is at the moment, the trend. You go from that trend, so in this example, lower low, lower high, to a set of higher highs and higher lows. So you go from the downtrend to the uptrend. So from this one, we would go like this, and we'd establish that higher high, higher low. I'm going to label all these, so don't worry. Excuse me. So we can see here, where's the text? There we go. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But wait a second. Higher low, higher high. Dun dun dun. This is when you can either make a lot of money, or you can lose a lot of money. Or you can choose to sit in cash and wait for something that doesn't look so complicated. But ultimately, this is where there's a good bit of money to be made. And like you heard me talk about before, this is where, I mean, honestly, like majority of the money's lost by a lot of people. So I'll finish labeling this. But yeah, that's the trend reversal. Like first indicator, you get like a new higher low. So you're like, oh, that means probabilistically there's a higher high coming. There's most likely a higher high coming in the future. So let me just emphasize this. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We're in a downtrend. However, we can see here we go from a lower high to a higher low. What does the higher low bring? The higher low brings a higher high. God, these words are making me go insane saying them over and over again. I feel like I'm like talking way too much, but it's giving me a headache. Um, but that signifies a higher low, and lower high, or higher high, higher low, which signifies an uptrend. Okay, I gotta get off like this drawing right here because I'm like really getting a headache. So now let's bring that here. I'll even like keep it in the picture. I can't look at it though because it's making me like lose my words. Bring that into the picture, and how does that new information allow us to trade this above? Not this line, this white period right here. This little box. So we go from consolidation and we break down and we create a marker. There it is. We create a lower low, and I mean, this might not look like it, but it's like probably a penny of a lower high. And then, as we can see here, this is what we're looking at. We get the higher low, and we get a higher high, and another higher low. So there's a change in trend there. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, is this just a pullback, Ryan? It would be, but if you remember what I said before, I said it very slightly. You want to see a pullback off the consolidation period and bounce. So that's like when your entrance would be. So you get a pullback. So where's the marker again? Pullback to the consolidation period, which would be this white box right here. Or you could just put the line right there. You get a pullback, and then that's when you'd get the real move down. However, that didn't happen. You kind of had this series of higher low, higher high prior to, and you never even necessarily got there before like the change in like trend started to happen. So there's some red flags going off here. Now, I'm not going to get into how to trade this, but that's just like an idea of how to spot a trend reversal, and just kind of like showing you to keep your eyes out when the consolidation breaks out. Like this is when you should be paying attention. This is when you would make the most amount of money, and this is also when you can lose the most amount of money, because that's the only time we're going to be entering. So just think of some ideas in your head. I mean, I already referred to the pullback to the consolidation period and bounce, of how you can mitigate risk here. Now, you don't have to think about it too much because I'm just going to explain it in the future anyways. But I highly advise thinking of your own ideas and having the ability to morph them and have humility to learn from somebody else, as it will improve your success drastically, and it will help you just become a better trader a lot more. You need to have like your own roots and your own thoughts of the tree of knowledge in your own head to really just gather your own intuitive kind of view on this on price action. Price action, I understand why it's complicated, because you need to look at a screen for hundreds of hours to really get a good grasp and for it to become second nature. So yeah, I understand it, but you have to like really try to get your own information, think of it, don't just listen to me, because it's going to be harder. Find some few examples, go search some stocks, write things down like I'm doing right here, draw it on a piece of paper, and just give yourself examples, and then eventually I'll explain it in a later video. It'll be more clear, and then you'll have a much clearer understanding. It's like I'm sure in school, like your professor was like, okay, try to do this problem, like prior to her explaining to it or him. So yeah, that's the same thing with trading. Now I just want to give a quick analogy here. God, this is gonna take forever to delete. So you can probably fast forward like another 20 seconds again. But anyways, I'm going to be going over an analogy of kind of what a trend is and how we can go about it thinking in a very simple way. The whole thing we're doing here is trying to simplify topics that are, I guess, just hard to understand without like a lot of experience and or losing a lot of money to gain that experience. So the analogy I'm going to be giving here, hopefully it's a good one because I thought about it for like 2 to 3 minutes prior to making this video. So hopefully it pans out. It's going to be the idea of driving a car. Now, if you've never driven a car before, this probably is going to be hard. I understood that when making this analogy. But I'm sure you could probably still think about it in a decent manner. It's not going to be super complicated. The idea is to simplify it here. So, let's imagine we're going to the gym or somewhere with a parking lot. And these are the 2 parking spots. And all these spots are filled over here. All these spots are filled over here. There just so happens to be 2 spots directly in front of one another. So you could choose either the front one right here, or you could choose the back one over here. And I'm sure we all know, for the people who drive cars, there's no reason for you to pick this one right here. So you're obviously going to go to this one. Why? Because it's more efficient to be able to drive your car, put your car in drive and go forward than be able to have to back out of the parking spot. It's going to save you like at least 10 seconds, or at least that's how I think of it. I know I sure as hell would pick this parking spot 10 times out of 10 because who the hell wants to back out when you could just drive straight forward and save yourself a lot of time. Now, with that being said, let's think of this in stock terms. So you go in and you park. So your trend is upward. You're driving forward and you park your car. You go do what you need to do. Let's say you're going to the gym and you go to the gym for 2 hours. So your car is the stock market. So your car, it goes forward, and then it sits here for 2 hours because you're not in it. And then you come back out, and then you get in the car, and because you parked on the other side, you can drive forward again. Suits. We have a trend here. Going up, consolidate, going up. This could be even referred to as a minor pullback. So that's a way to think of a trend. Think of a car. Now, furthermore, what if there was a car in that parking spot? So we could not go here anymore. Unfortunately, my friends, we are going to have to hit the back out. Not that it's complicated, but it's probably going to take you an extra 5 seconds, so that's kind of annoying. So what's going to happen? You're going to go in, park, and you're going to have to pull back out. Now, this would look something like this. So you're going to go in, park, and then we're going back in this direction. So this is a little bit more, slightly more advanced than this one. This would be a minor consolidation. And this one you're getting a real pullback. So it's important with these pullbacks to understand that it's going to either make a lower low and you continue going this way of the original move here, or maybe we're going to drive out of the parking lot this way and reverse the trend. So just understand, I'm trying to explain probability analysis in the terms of parking a car and going to the gym, but hopefully that simplified it somewhat. There's still a couple more, but those are 2 quick examples. Just understand the probabilities of what can happen in under certain conditions. So next, what was my other example? Okay. This one should hopefully make a little bit more sense. So we got the idea that there is a possible pullback. Now what if we're driving and if you passed your driver's test and you can drive a car, you had to do a 3-point turn, so hopefully you all know what that is. So you're driving, and you're like, oh crud. I need to go back where I just came from. So what are you going to do? I mean, say you're on a back road up here in upstate New York. There's tons of back roads you can see this on. So I don't know how probable this is and where you live, but you want to hit a 3-point turn. So you drive to this side of the road, and then you have to back up, and then you go back this way the way you came. So what would this look like in terms of the stock market? You'd have that uptrend, that consolidation period when you're putting the car into reverse here, in which you consolidate for just a tiny second, and then you pull back, as this would look right here, and then you have to put the car into drive again, or going to go forward, which you're going to consolidate for a second to shift gears. So that would look a little bit like this, a minor pullback. And then you're going to drive back in the direction you just came from. So you go back down the other way you just came. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of a trend reversal type-esque, if you're going to simplify it. There's that. The 3-point turn, aka the trend reversal. So hopefully if you're ever like trading a breakout, hopefully you think of the 3-point turn now. Maybe I just made that a new thing. I might have to copyright that. I feel like that was pretty good. Maybe not though. Now, next on, a real uptrend. So if anybody lives in the city, or even if you're just traveling on a back road, actually, there's going to be stop signs here and there. So you might be driving in the same direction, say you need to go somewhere, but eventually you're going to have to hit a stop sign. But eventually you just keep going where you're going. So think of that. Yeah, just think of like you're going on a back road and there's a couple 4-way intersections or 2-way intersections, whatever the heck, along the way, and you have to stop at the stop sign for like half a second here, and then you keep going the way you're going. So yeah, the stop sign, I guess that's the stop sign analogy. And lastly, there are going to be periods of time when... Okay, actually, no, I want to do a different analogy. So they're going to be... I don't know if anybody here ever races cars or has a fast car, and you understand that if you put your car to the max and you're racing somebody, there's a higher probability that your car might undergo damage. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, if you drive like a Bugatti Chiron, the car is like built to travel at faster speeds, so that's not going to happen. But overall, saying, so if you're just flying and you're only going up, and you're on the highway racing somebody, and there's no periods of like consolidation, you're not hitting a stop sign, you're not running into traffic or slowing down, you don't need to get off on an exit. There's going to be a few things that are going to come in the way. So first off, your car is susceptible to like something bad happening to it. Like maybe you blow a charge pipe, or maybe your turbo breaks. Just something like that. Or maybe you have to brake really hard and your brake's hard. Maybe you break your control arm from turning too hard. There's all these things that can happen if you're going too fast and you're putting yourself at risk. So if the trend is just straight up and there's no pullbacks, there's risk. Now, what's the risk? Maybe you get in a car crash. Maybe something breaks on your car and the car has to stop. Either way, there's risk. So what does that mean? When you're super, super far advanced and there's no pullbacks, you're likely to get a deeper pullback when you do get one. So this one's not necessarily too much what we went over, but this is just more of an intuitive sense of how if you have a super long stretch of up, then that means you're not just gonna get like a tiny little baby pullback. You're much more probable of getting a larger pullback. If you're going 150 racing somebody on the highway, you're much more likely to undergo severe damage and get a large pullback in your life or in the car, just as with the trend in the stock market. So hopefully the car analogies make sense. That's just about all I have for the video today. I will leave you to look at this while I'm talking for probably like 10 more seconds, just to see if you could just try to think about this. Like, how could you have traded this? Maybe you can think. I'm not gonna be talking about my trading strategy for a couple videos. So if you want to like expose yourself, which I highly suggest, just think of some ideas of how you could have traded this, and if this one doesn't work for you, I can pull up another one that's even more simplified. Here's another one that you could have. It happens all the time. So, how could you have traded this? Think of that. Now, while I'm yapping really quick, I just wanted to say it is very, very important you don't put any emphasis, like, don't look at me in any type of, like, glossy-eyed type of manner. I'm just a normal person, and if you think of me with any type of significance, it is going to make it a lot harder for you to actually learn from me. And I know, I hope you can understand that if you're older, in the sense that if you would have gone to college, or if you would have gone to high school and middle school, and you would have actually understood that your professor and or teacher is this just another person and the same person as you, and they're just trying to help you, and there's nothing insane about what they're saying or super advanced about what they're saying, it would have made everything so much easier. Like, there's a reason why I'm coming on here and telling you simplify, because I know even though I'm talking in very simple manners, you're susceptible to thinking that my words are kind of like magic, and they're gonna come across as advanced. I'm telling you, even though you don't have access to my brain, I think of things in this very simple manner. I probably simplify it more than I have in this video, and I just don't even realize it, because it's just so much easier to think of things in that manner. You need to simplify things down if you want to be good at this. If you're sitting here and you're like tweaking out about like, oh my god, higher, low, da 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 da, just draw it out. And I honestly encourage you to say it. Higher, high, higher, low. And just like close your eyes and think about what that would look like, or draw it out. Just understand what it is by nature. There's nothing special about it. It is super simple. A consolidation period is just going sideways. Like, the problem with trading is everything is so, like, it's like people just think of it as like this big huge thing, because I mean, yeah, you can make a lot of money from it, but it's not complicated. You're making it complicated just because you kind of like put this glossy-eyed mask on over your face, or these contacts in, I guess you could say, and you're screwing yourself up by thinking it's this big huge thing. So I'm telling you, you really need to simplify it for yourself, or just understand what I'm saying. Hi, I'm a 20-year-old kid. I'm just another white kid in New York. I'm the same as you. Like, there's nothing different about me than you. I just happen to simplify it. I can understand it. You can understand it. My words are not special. I'm just another kid. There's no reason for you to like think of me in a special manner. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out, because every single time I mentor anybody, that's always the first thing I try to establish. And if I can't establish a personal relationship with you through a video, because we're not going to be able to talk on voice chat or text each other, I just need you, and I had to go over this for probably like 5 minutes now, of me just making you understand we are on the same level. And yes, it's hard for me to not psychologically convince you that through words and through like a video chat, but Mr. Meow here knows. We're all just the same person at the end of the day. Like, cats have emotion. I mean, hopefully you can see this cat. Cats have emotions just as humans do. They're the same thing as a human. We're all the same thing. Don't overcomplicate and glossy eye anybody or any person. And I'll end it on this. Just because like somebody has a lot of fame or money or da 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 da, like let's say for example Bill Gates or I don't even know, like Jeff Bezos, like at the end of the day you have something special too. You're a human on this earth. You're alive for a reason. You can do it too. There's no reason for you to ever glossy eye any of these people. Yeah, they might have had an invention or something that was cool, but there's no reason you should be prone to thinking that you can't create an invention or you can't do something amazing because you're just screwing yourself up and your thoughts create your reality. So if you're going to sit there and think all of these hold these people to a high horse and think that you can't do it and these people are so special like Elon Musk and da 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 da, they just actually chased their dreams and they simplified it for themselves and they did what they knew that they can do. So know that you can do it. Don't oversimplify or don't overcomplicate it and just get the job done. It's very, very simple. Like there's nothing actually complicated about this. The only thing that's complicated is involving human emotion. That's why 90% of people lose, because you can just involve your emotion and then you lose because you're overcomplicating things. You're thinking of things in this manner and that manner, and you're not thinking of it in a probabilistic, efficient manner, and you're not simplifying it. So, enjoy my rant. I told you probably a good bit of these, like 5 to 10% of the videos are going to be me ranting. That's probably the most important rant I'll give. But yeah, hopefully that made a lot of sense. And you're the same person as me. Chase your dreams. As always, stay happy, my friends, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.